Hello rose lovers and welcome back to my channel. It's that time of the year when the nature is waking up after a long winter. It's so exciting to see the new growth all the way around in your garden, in parks and forests. And yes, it's the time of the year when your roses are waking up and they are preparing to start producing the most wonderful blooms for us. Here in the UK, we are now towards end of March and this is the best time to start fertilizing your roses. Is when you see that they have waken up and new leaves start to unfold. In this episode, I will show you how I fertilize mine and what I need to do prior to start the fertilization process. If you are curious to join me in my journey of growing my dream rose garden, please subscribe to this channel. In order to properly fertilize my roses and to make this video, I have done some research, especially because I have a lot of young roses and they can be more susceptible to fertilizer burn. And I think that's a real concern because it's so easy to overdo it, especially when there are so many products on the market and they all promise bigger and spectacular bloom. The best research that I have found and I trust are two videos from Fraser Valley Rose Farm. They are a rose grower in Canada and in those videos they will explain how they fertilize their roses, especially young baby roses, and they offer a great explanation about it. So now back to my garden. The first thing that I have taken from those videos, and the most important to start with, is that you have to test your soil. Over-fertilizing can be detrimental to your roses and to your budget as well. The most important rule for the roses to thrive is to have the right amount of nutrients in your soil, so the plant can utilize all of them in the proportion that they need. So in order to do that, I went ahead and I purchased the soil test from Amazon. I think this is the easiest and the fastest way to test my soil. And in this test kit are 40 tests that I have used a lot to test different areas from my garden, and I will show you step by step how I have done it and what results I obtained. First, I am happy to see that everything is color coded and it's easy to identify them. There are 10 tests each for pH level, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, the NPK. All the instructions were clear and easy to follow. And more than that, they have included some suggestions on how you can amend your soil, depending on the results indicated by the tests. They also have a leaflet with different plants and what pH they prefer. I know that the pH is very important because even if your soil is rich and has a ton of nutrients, if the pH is not right for that particular plant, all those nutrients cannot be utilized. So the first test that I will do is for pH. From everything that I read so far, I know that the roses need a pH slightly acidic, so let's see what we will find out. To test the pH, I need a green capsule and a green compartment. To prepare the sample, I need to take soil from 4 inches deep, that's 10 centimeters. I tested the soil from 4 different locations in my garden, and for 2 of them I was expecting to see a higher pH because in that area I have my camellia and rhododendron and my raspberry and blueberry. So to make the test, take the green box, remove the cap and put soil into the soil compartment onto the left until you reach the soil level indicated. Then take one green capsule and carefully separate the 2 halves and pour the powder on top of the soil into the test chamber, the small one on the left. Using the dropper provided, add water. Put the cap, make sure it's sealed properly, shake well and allow for the color to develop for about a minute. One important factor is what kind of water to use. It says on the instructions that it is preferably to use distilled water. I don't have any at home and I was thinking that better than tap water is filter water. I use this Brita filter jug that can remove all chlorine, metals and limescale, herbicide, pesticides and pharmaceuticals. I will be using this filter water for all my tests. I have repeated the test a few more times. So soon enough I have the test results. The first two samples are from my border with roses and the other one are from my camellia and raspberry border. The rose border have a pH of 6.5, this is slightly acidic, which is perfect for roses, so I am happy with that result. The other samples have a pH of 6, which is acid, and this is also perfect for camellia, rhododendron, raspberry and blueberry. I am also happy with that result because I have been trying to lower the pH in those areas in the last year by adding sulfates of iron and ericaceous fertilizer, especially made for that kind of plant, and it works. I was expecting those results because I was really impressed by the amount of raspberry that we had last summer, so I really recommend this. Now I suppose many of you will raise the question, how do you know the test is accurate? This is a legit question and I was thinking the same, how I can prove that this is working without spending more money to buy another test to compare it with. And I had the idea to pour vinegar on the test chamber and look what it happens. The color turns red instantly and the red is a pH of 4.5 that is very acidic. So I think I can trust this one so far, and let's continue with the other tests. Now I want to test the big NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. I took multiple samples from my garden because the soil looks a bit different on each location and I was curious to see if there are different levels of nutrients. To prepare the sample you need to take soil from 4 inches deep, that's 10 centimeters. Add 1 cup of soil to 5 cups of water and stir for 1 minute. I use again filter water for best results. Then allow the mixture to settle anywhere from 30 minutes to 24 hours. I have let mine for about 20 hours. It depends on your type of soil. A fine clay soil will take much longer to settle than a coarse sandy soil. However, the cloudiness will not affect the accuracy of the test. First step is to take the box corresponding to the test you want to make and match it with the correct peel color. If you want to test nitrogen, take the purple box with the purple peel. Use the dropper provider to fill in the reference chamber with water from your sample. Next, hold the capsule above the box, open carefully and pour the powder over the water. Put the lid and shake thoroughly. I will go ahead and do the same for the potassium and phosphorus test. For the phosphorus test, I use the blue box together with the blue peel, and the potassium test, I use the orange box with the orange peel. I repeated all 3 tests for all the 3 samples, and the results were confused at the beginning and then shocking and disappointing to say the least regarding to the soil that I have in my garden. As I was waiting for the color to develop, I noticed that there is not too much color. The test chamber was looking like it has just plain water and nothing in it. The color was so fade that I was indecisive between a depleted or insufficient mark. I write down all the test results and then I was thinking what I can do to see if this is accurate or not. I prepare a soil sample from a good quality compost and I test it. The results were amazing. As you can see, all 3 chambers have a good color saturation. This means that there are high level of nutrients in each one tested. This was kind of expected from this bought compost, but I am really disappointed by the soil in my garden. Now I know that I have to work a lot to improve the nutrients level. I feel that I have already taken one step in that direction at the moment of planting the roses because I put some type of manure or compost into the planting hole. That's a good start that will also improve the structure of the soil, but it will take some time to work. Now in the spring, when all the roses are waking up, I will rather use something that will give me stronger and fast results. And this will lead me to the second part of this video, where I want to show you how I am fertilizing my roses. The majority of my roses are young, freshly planted last year, but I have two of them that They have about 2 or 3 years into the ground. I will feed those with a granular fertilizer and the young one with a liquid. And I will explain the reasons why I do that. For both I will use organic fertilizer because I think this will help the soil microorganisms on the long term and not only the roses. Another reason to use organic is to avoid fertilizer burn because usually an organic fertilizer it's not so strong like a chemical one. So let me start with the 2 oldest roses in my garden. I use this granular rose food from Vitax. It has an NPK of 4, 2.5 and 8. I choose this one because it's a slow release and I think it's better suited for a rose this age. Also, a mature rose have extended roots that can access this type of fertilizer with ease. Also, it has magnesium that will promote green leaves. And I like that it's so easy to apply. I put less than a quarter of a cup around each rose, hoe it in lightly and water. The only thing that I will add to this one is some chicken manure pellets because I think that the roses can benefit from having more nitrogen, especially now in the spring when all new growth is happening. According to Jason from Fraser Valley Farm Rose, he was recommending a higher nitrogen number, a lower phosphorus number and a medium potassium. Regarding all my other roses, I choose a liquid feed because it's easily available right away for the plants. I have many bare roots newly planted this winter or transplanted roses and I would like to help them to take the nutrients as efficient as possible. And also with this type of fertilizer, I can see results much faster and control the application rather than using a granular feed. For these young roses, I choose to use organic liquid seaweed. This is an all-purpose fertilizer that you can use all around in your garden, and I had great success in the past using this. The instruction says to use 1 cup to 1 gallon of water, that's 4.5 liters. Mix well and water around the plants. Because my soil was a bit dry, I came first and watered all my roses just to have the soil ready to absorb the water with fertilizer and not to run away from the plants. First I used just plain water and then I used the water with fertilizer. For all this I was able to use rainwater that I am collecting in this water bottle, and for now we have plenty here in the UK. The plan is to apply this once a month, and meanwhile I will observe my roses and see how they are doing. It took me a while to do all my roses, but at the end of the day I can feel very proud of a job well done and I cannot wait for the bloom season. I'm excited to see all the green new growth, all the buds and then the spectacular flowers. I will put links in the description box below with all the products that I have mentioned if you are interested to check on them. Those are Amazon affiliate links, meaning that if you will click and you will decide to purchase, I will make a small commission with no extra cost to you. None of this is sponsored. For all those products I pay myself with my own money, and I think they are a good choice for my roses and for the soil health. That being said, I hope you found something interesting in today's video. Like if you do and if you want to support the channel. Make sure to stick around if you want to see updates on all my roses in the next upcoming season. Until next time, happy gardening everyone!